every day, guys, I get a lot of questions as far as making money in real estate in general. This falls to all types of strategies in real estate.
On condominiums in Hampton, gated community with a pool, great turnkey asset.
This is my secret of how I make a fortune in real estate. Free content that I give out, guys. I'm very passionate what I do about teaching. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Antonio Edwards. This is my good friend Scott Jelinek. We're both savvy investors in the Hampton Roads, Virginia area. Always looking at different properties. And one thing that's very important with looking at properties, every property can be a good property if the numbers work. And we're looking at this property here. This is a property that we're looking at, and the numbers on this looks very good. And it's looking at it for about $15,000. Now, the topic of this video, and I'm gonna let Scott chime in on, is different options that you can implement on one property. Most people look at one property and they look at it as just, this is only one exit strategy. This is the only exit strategy I know. We have many different exit strategies just on this one product. And I'm gonna let Scott chime in. We're gonna walk in and you can kind of see what we see, and hopefully this can help you out in your market.
Well, the first exit strategy, the one I wish he would take, is to take a quick $10,000 assignment fee from me and sell it to me. But he's opting to keep this one and not do that, because I love these houses. I have a bunch of them, love to do ones just like it. But he doesn't want to take the quick money, wants to go for the big money. And so then the other options are going to be either own a financing, lease option, or keep it as a straight rental. And that's basically the decision that's made inside. So I guess let's come on inside so you can see the condition of it and go over what the different strategies would be.
All right, as you can see, this property, most people come to this property and be like, man, or most investors will come to this property like, wow, if I want to keep this, I'll go ahead and put the $10,000 or $15,000 to maybe rent it out. What do you say, Scott?
Well, it depends. My slow flip program is as is. I do houses like this exactly as is. I get a down payment from them, and then I collect a monthly payment with owner financing. I do no maintenance. I do no fix-up. It's a handyman special. Don't call me. I always tell them when we're at the table, I say I operate just like a bank. If your sink is leaking, you wouldn't call Bank of America. Don't call me either. Call a plumber. And that's just me. That's my strategy I go with. A lot of other people will fix it up, spend 10 grand, and then make it a straight rental or make it a nicer property. But in my experience, you can make it a nicer property. There's a good chance 6 months from now it's going to be in the same condition, and that 10 grand is never going to be seen again.
So let's talk about, Scott, somebody come in and put that $10,000 in. Maybe their mindset is thinking, hey, I'll maybe get a better quality tenant, opposed to if I just, lease option it out as is or owner financing as is. Talk about that.
They're right. Actually, when you put a better property on the market, you get a better tenant most of the time, or you'll get a longer term tenant, or you get someone who takes better care of the property. But there's no guarantee of that. And a lot of times you will put all that money into it, and you'll still get that same tenant you were going to get before, only now they're treating your $10,000 rehab as a slum. And when you get it back 6 months later, you got to put another 10 grand into it. You'll never get whole. When you do it at an as-is property, a lot of times you'll get a lower-end person, and you may turn it over twice in a year and think this isn't working. I got to start fixing them up. The thing is, you only need one person who takes it seriously and keeps it long-term. And I have many properties I've turned over 3 or 4 times, and then found one person who took it serious, and I never saw that property again for the next 10 years. That's it. They treat it as their home. They fix it up. They fix these lights. They fix the carpet. They do everything. It's their house.
That's awesome. That's an awesome tip, Scott. Now, I know most people, their exit strategy when they hold them is maybe just rent it out. Talk about the more pros. Is it more pros and then doing a lease option on the financing?
Well, let me tell you, rentals suck. I mean, I don't know a better way to put it. Rentals is the dream. Everybody wants to be in rentals until you're in rentals. And I used to always say rentals is the worst part and the best part of this business. The reason rentals suck is because you're never free. I mean, it's a constant headache. You're constantly doing maintenance. I know certain people are like, no, but I have big cash flow. Yeah, that's great, but it only takes one air conditioning unit to get stolen. It only takes one vacancy for a while to eat up your cash flow for years to come. My personal opinion is, and this is through 20 years of trial and error and getting beat down,
yes,
free and clear is the only way to go, even though it takes time to get there. You can't get there overnight. And then owner financing or lease options. So we put the maintenance responsibility onto the tenant buyer. That's the only way. Otherwise, all your money is getting eaten up.
Yeah,
all of it. And people that talk positive about rentals and they make $300 a month positive and leverage, they just haven't been hit hard yet.
Absolutely.
And I used to feel the same way. I used to argue in their defense until I learned the hard way that leverage works the other way going down, and I ain't no interest in it anymore.
I totally agree. So I got this property for 15 grand. He's a cash buyer. He wants to buy it from me for 25 grand. I can make 10 grand now, or keep it for 15. So that's two options. Or I can lease option out, or rent it out, or do owner financing, or rehab it. There's many different ways. Now let's talk about, let's say if let's say if I wholesale it to Scott for 25 grand, I make my 10 grand and I'm out. He's in it for 25. What would you do? Would you use your own cash for 25?
I use private money. I use private money, investor money, expensive money. I pay 12% interest. I use private money on all my rentals that I'm paying cash for, and the reason is, we were just talking about this earlier, no matter how much money you have, if you pay cash, your own cash, for each property, you're gonna run out. And you sleep a lot better with 100 grand, 200 grand, 300 grand in the bank than you do with 10 properties free and clear. I'd rather use the private money and then use my tenant buyers to pay off that private money, and then they're free and clear. I do short-term amortizations, generally 5 years.
Awesome. So I know you said keyword tenant buyer, so you don't rent out anymore. You just do
Zero rentals.
lease option owner finance.
Correct. I do zero rentals.
From your 20 years experience, you've got more negatives renting out.
Yes. The tenants will kill you.
I agree. So this is a great tip, guys. We just wanted to share this. You know, as many strategies. Always look at different exit strategies as much as possible on one property, one product, opposed to just looking at one exit strategy. You know, weigh your options.
One last thing, I know you're seeing this video and I can read your mind, what you're thinking. Whenever I have this conversation and I say the tenants will kill you, I get a lot of flack and arguments from people that say, no, you just don't screen properly. My tenants are great, or this and that. But trust me, if you have 6 properties, it's easy to say that. You have 10 properties, it's easy to say that. Whenever I get that argument, I'll be like, well, how long have you been doing it? They'll be like, well, 1.5 years, and I have 6 properties and I've never had an eviction. I'm like, that's great. Tell me when you have 50 properties and you've been doing it 10 years. It's a numbers game. When you have 6 properties and you've been doing it 6 months, it's fine. You may never have had an eviction or even a repair call by that point. If you do this long term, it's going to catch up with you. So I'm just heading that off because I can feel that argument coming. You're going to say, well, no, you're just not screening properly. You're in the lower end properties, which is what we're in now.
Yep.
That's what you're going to have to deal with. That's part of the business.
And I say, well, rents in this area, what, 800?
775 to 875?
875, give or take. So there's different options, guys. So just take these tips, apply them to your business and your market. And the main purpose of this is just like lay out your options on one property. Not just look at it like, hey, I can just wholesale this, or I can just rehab it.
And if you want to give any feedback to Antonio, tell him he should sell this house to Scott. Thank you.